Coming up on the next episode of the Celsius Pod.
Then a certain person comes on and they say, I want you to meet this man. They call him the painter. It comes in, what's your name? Adolf Hitler. Cut the black.
Guys, the weather is 57 degrees, but we got to get immediately into Aiden. Please tell us the continuation of Duel Destinies, leaving us on that cliffhanger.
You forgot what the most important thing. It's the temperature in Belgrade, 31 degrees.
Okay,
Fahrenheit.
but now I need to hear about Duel Destinies right now.
Temperature in Ithaca, 32.
We don't care about Ithaca. Right. Duel Destinies.
Last time where we left off, remember there was this girl, her name Aura Blackwell, and she kidnaps all these people and holds them hostage until Athena Sykes is prosecuted for murder of her own mother, even though she was 11 and wasn't there. But then we find out she was there, and actually Aura's brother Simon Blackwell, the prosecutor, he actually did it, but he actually didn't do it. But he actually did, but he didn't. He actually liked Athena a lot, and so he wanted to protect her. So he helped out. Plot twist: the detective, the whole game wasn't there. Ooh. He wasn't actually real. The detective's been dead for a year, and it was actually the Phantom the whole time.
Was his name like Phantom?
No, his name was Bobby Fulbright.
I thought it was going to be another Ted Donate moment.
No, they didn't do another Ted Donate moment.
Okay, well, we're good with that. Is that? Are we good with it now?
We'll just once I get to Spirit of Justice, that's the next time you'll hear about it.
Okay. But important announcement.
Wait.
Awesome. Guys, me and Nikola will be hosting a special episode where we scream at each other for an hour and a half about Avatar live action.
We're not going to be screaming at each other.
We're going to be screaming
with each other
and
about the show.
And just to let you guys know, I already have 9 pages of notes I've written about the show. So
yeah, he's one of those guys.
I will be very ready for the discussion.
He's one of them.
It'll probably already be out by the time this episode is out. So watch it if you want to hear our thoughts.
Actually finish
because
I have something to say. Yeah. Guys, are you familiar with the movie Remember Me?
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye. Remember me.
It's a movie where Robert Pattinson in it. It's like a little, like a love story. Like he's falling in love with this girl. It's like they have some issues, but they finally get together. And then the end of the movie, the guy Robert Pattinson's like a building. 9/11 happens.
No, I've seen this clip. It's crazy. He's like standing there, then it pans away. And it's just the Twin Towers.
Yeah,
it's the Twin Towers on September 11th, and
that's
he dies.
That's like real.
Okay, but what's the context for this?
That's happened to me before.
Why do you need context, Beck?
I was wondering why Uri brought this up.
It was on my mind. Okay, but go watch the Avatar special.
Yep,
it'll probably be up.
It'll be probably up before this episode is, right?
Yeah, probably.
But guys, it's a special day for someone in the room.
Yup, it's Nikola. He's not gonna fall asleep.
Congrats on passing your math test.
What?
No, it's actually Uri's birthday.
It's Uri's birthday. He turns 22.
I didn't know that.
He's not
19.
He's turning 28.
I'm 22.
He's turning 35, and he only has 4 more years until he dies.
Is going to die on March 17th, 2038 at 7:52 a.m. Do not look out the window. Do not look out the window on April 7th, 2038.
I will be dying tonight. Unfortunately.
That's not prepared.
Do you want to pull out the Celsius podcast knife? The one with the gun?
Yeah, let's bring.
It's all the way over there, though.
Okay, but no.
Uri, what have you done on this special day? And do you want us to sing happy birthday?
No, let's sing it.
No.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
We cannot hear the automaton at all.
Happy birthday, dear Uri. Happy birthday
to you.
Okay.
If you're a guy and you're feeling sad right now, just remember that nobody cares.
I just made a wish, guys.
Oh, damn,
you
got a tattoo?
What wish did you make, Uri?
I can't say.
He wants the Bear season 4.
No, it's about the podcast.
Wow. So he wants 10,000 views on a single
He wants
short.
me to win the knife in CS:GO, you know?
It's true.
Sorry, I wanted to find the part where they have the car sing happy birthday.
Let Beck die. Let Beck die.
Okay, but what if we get into what we're watching?
Whoa.
Who has the least number of things? Let's start with that.
Let me think. I have watched one. I can't talk about the second thing because we're doing that the mini special.
Actually, since I'm the birthday boy, I'll go first.
Yeah, that's one thing. I have watched a total of one thing.
Tell us what you did on your birthday.
Yeah. Tell us your InFocus birthday story.
I got some slime, and that was kind of
bro was straight sweaming.
Okay, but so guys, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's a trailer. There's a trailer for this movie called Ordinary Angels that it's about like a widowed father and a girl who has like cancer or something, and like this hairdresser is like, you know, she's an angel. She helps this guy's life, and like it's based off like an extraordinary true story, and so it's like, you know, one of those kind of feel good movies, and so the director of the movie went to Ithaca, so he did a pre-release at, like in the auditorium, auditorium, and so before he was like, guys, this was a great time making the movie. Like, I can't wait for you guys to see it. And I would say, you know, it's a very kind of like, you know, it has a lot of Christian undertones to this movie, but it's like a nice, you know, family feel good movie. It's like a faith-based movie, but I think it's like faith-based at like its best. Like it doesn't like go too preachy about like things, because like, and in the end, like the girl needs to get like, and this woman, this hairdresser, she's kind of like the fucking goat. This guy, the dad has debt. His daughter is like dying, and she's on the bottom of the donor list. This woman helps with finances. She fucking gets him a guy to drive to fly him to like Omaha to get the surgery, and she's like the goat. The other entire movie is like, I don't want charity. It's like, but then at the end of the movie, he's all like,
charity.
I might have seen the trailer for this. Is it the one where like there's like the snowstorm?
Yeah,
it's like this from the studio that did like Wonder, right? I saw this in like a trailer. I saw a trailer for this.
Yeah. And apparently, so this guy who made it is like John Gunn. He's like a alumni here, and he makes I think a lot of faith-based kind of movies.
Was it like a required watch, or did you just go to the screening?
No, I just went because, like, you know, the director was there. I might as well go.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. He did like a Q&A afterwards, you know, kind of.
Did you ask a question, Uri?
No, I didn't. But no, it was like a nice little. It's like a nice little movie. I gave it like a 3 or something on my letterbox or something.
But Aiden made a letterbox.
I did make a letterbox. Find me at Aiden Shoemaker on Letterboxd.
And you gotta make one so we all have one now.
But I would never use it.
Aiden hasn't used his.
I mean, I did. I posted something.
You did?
Madam Web. Oh, yeah, transition.
But no, it was a nice little movie, you know. Yeah, it's like it was based off a true story, and then at the end they show like
9/11.
The daughter, her liver is fixed, and like pan out, she's in the Twin Towers.
No,
bro.
10 out. No, they know. Then a certain person comes on and they say, I want you to meet this man. They call him the painter. It comes in. What's your name? Adolf Hitler. Cut the black.
You know, it's actually the Cut the Black movie. Like they keep saying, like you're a butterfly to like the girl in the movie, like butterflies, and like she's in her hospital bed. He says, "Wake up, butterfly." And
you're not a butterfly. You're a moth. You're a worm.
But you know, in that little movie, the director seemed cool. You know, maybe I can get a connection. I could do Christian underdog movies. Like okay.
I think they can do an adaptation of your Al Ulbrickson film. Multiversal Nothings.
And then I make it into like a Christian movie about like the guy fixes himself through faith.
I can imagine it's so smooth in the movie.
Guys, I just posted something else to my Letterboxd.
Yo, I'm about to see what it is. Is it going to be a half-star review of Home?
No, that's later. It's going to be 0
it's
stars.
It's the
Home.
Cube. Wait, is it like the movie where they're like?
Is that the same with Jim Henson?
It's the Jim Henson one.
Aiden, we watched this recently in my film history class. Like a clip of it.
You guys both had the same film history class.
But because we were learning about like the history of like because he worked on Sesame Street and stuff, and
he made Sesame Street.
Well, he helped create it because there was like this main woman who made it. But the Cube. Tell us about the Cube, I guess.
All right. Okay, so there's this guy. He doesn't have a name. His name is just the man in the cube in the credits.
Cube. Is this like a Transformers reference? Before time, there was the cube.
No, so basically this guy's in a cube. It's a white cube, rectangle.
Oh, it's not like the black cube.
No, he's just in a cube.
Okay.
And things just happen. Some guy comes in.
He's inside a cube. He's not outside.
Is this the one where it's like the 5 people and they try to escape the cube?
No, that's the cube.
Does he have a cube inside the cube, or is it just a cube?
Does he solve a Rubik's cube?
I'm gonna kill you.
Does he have anything inside the cube, or is it just some naked guy inside the cube?
3-dimensional object.
How do we know it's a cube? How do we know that it's not just a cube interior, but the outside is actually like an octagonal prism?
Guys, let me explain about the fucking cube.
He's in a cube. What do you mean?
Okay, but how do we know it's a cube?
Because they call it a cube. All the characters.
Okay, how do we know they're not lying?
That's a good question.
There's no way to prove it. Think. You have to use critical thinking.
Hey, Nikola, can I explain the movie? Because that's kind of what the movie's about.
No, it's not.
I'm gonna leave. I'm leaving. I think I have to leave.
The movie's about 9/11, and then there's a post-credit scene at the end where somebody comes on. They're like, "He's the painter," and he says,
"Okay, Nikola, you can't use the same joke twice."
I could have used the same joke.
You can't use the same joke again because it needs that's not the rule of threes.
Not have to do it a third time, so then it's a rule of three.
Nikola, let me just explain the movie, okay?
Okay, let's explain the movie.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so there's this guy. He's in a cube. He doesn't know how he gets there, and things just happen. People walk in the cube, and they walk out, and they do silly things. A lady walks in, makes out with him, but then it turns out they're scientists, and they take his heart rate and stuff, and then they leave. This guy, he's the manager. He comes in, he's like, "Hey, it's me, the manager. Just let me know what you want. There's a call button on the wall. You can press it, and it'll call me in." And then the call button disappears. He has a stool, but then it's gone. But then it's back. But then it's gone. And then there's this guy, he comes in, and he starts playing music, and now he's a bed. And then there's these 4 guys, and they start playing music.
Quick question. Is one of the guys that walk in referred to as the painter? And then he says, "What is your name?" And I say, "Adolf Hitler." And then the movie cuts to black.
But
no.
You love the rule.
That's rule of thirds. That's rule of third. I did 3 times. There you go. I did it.
Oh my god, you messed up my joke for later, dude. Oh my god.
Oh my god, is Hitler an actual character?
Jesus Christ, let me explain the movie.
Jesus Christ is a character?
Oh,
you're dealing with a
maybe
fucking
the guy in the cube is Jesus Christ, and the cube is a metaphor for humanity.
Dude, Aiden?
Nicola is like that one kid where it's like, you can't have any cookies right now. He says, "Why?" And then keeps saying why.
Aiden,
so basically, the guy
in the cube.
It turns out the main character, he's unnamed, but he's actually Jesus Christ, and the cube is a metaphor for the entrapments and the faults of humanity.
Aiden, you're trying to take the higher with him. You gotta play to his level. You gotta drag down to his level.
Nicola, if you let me speak, I'll give you an Oreo cookie later. Does that sound good?
No, I don't like Oreo.
No.
Wow.
I'll give you.
I kind of want to talk about other movies.
Okay,
so
let's
can we
move
finish
on.
the
Let's
queue?
talk into So let's get into what I've been watching.
Okay,
let
so
him
the
finish,
guys in the
and then he's
cube
gonna go to sleep, but we can do 3 man again.
So, after a while, things happen. Insane things happen.
Insane
Two gorillas
things.
come. and they throw him to the ground. They dance around him and they say, "You're not leaving. This is your home now." Ha, ha, ha.
So it is
And then
Jesus.
This sounds like an Adventure Time
Eventually-
episode.
6 people bring in a coffin and just leave it there and walk out. And then a chair with a pistol appears on it with 1 bullet. And he loads the pistol
I feel like this
And he aims
movie
it at
might be
the
a
head.
metaphor for like capitalism.
and he shoots himself, but it just sprays ink everywhere. And all the characters that we've seen over the past hour come out and they start laughing at him.
This is
They
like
laugh
the
at
end.
his
This is
face.
like the opposite of
They
the
say,
ending of
"You're
Evangelion.
so funny. You're such an idiot. You're such a dumbass." And he's like, "You know what? Shut up, everybody. No matter what your tortures you put me through, all I know is that I am real, that I'm a real person, and that all of this is fake, but I'm a real person."
He's a
And
real
then
boy.
he walks out. He walks out the door.
And the plot twist is that he's not a real person.
No, and then he walks out, and then he's in a hallway. He's free. He
Does
finally
the
made it out.
hallway
And the
say
guy walked out
exit
the door.
8 in like a yellow sign at the
Okay,
it's
but is there a man in the hallway known as the painter?
Oh, God! There's a guy. He comes out. He says, "Hi, I'm
Invents
the
the rule
manager.
of four.
I'm the real manager, and we're gonna go sign your release forms, and you'll be all done. I'm glad you made it out. It took you less time than we thought it would, but congratulations, you made it out." And then they go to his office, and he signs the papers, and he's like, "You know what? I'm glad I know now what is between reality and fiction. Like that wasn't real, but me, I'm real. Like I slam my hand against the desk, and I'm real. I can hold this knife, and I can cut myself, and I'll bleed, and that makes me real." And then he cuts himself. And then he says, "See, I'm bleeding. It makes me real." And then the manager says, "Taste it." And he tastes his own blood, and it's strawberry jam. And the room fades out back into the cube. And then he goes to cry in the corner, and that's the end of the movie.
Wow.
Stuck in the cube forever.
You know,
And this is the guy who made the Muppets, guys.
Okay, I'm
Wait,
90% sure that movie is just a
But
a
then a
metaphor.
guy called the painter comes in.
Yes, yeah. I've been
Okay.
predicting it. I've been holding out hope, and I'm finally it's
So
paid off.
guys,
There's no man.
yeah,
called the
I think
painter.
the movie is
This is the painter.
I'm 90%
There's no
sure the
painter.
movie is a post-credit scene for
a post-credit scene 4.
The Kingsman, where a certain Austrian painter comes in and says, "I am
This is the
Adolf
rule of
Hitler,
6s now.
Commander of the Third Reich." No, I'm pretty sure it's like it sound from based off how you described it. It sounds like a metaphor for like capitalism and like the restraints of
Definitely
humanity.
not.
You had to analyze it, right?
No,
Yeah,
I mean you can kind of
is
say
this-
like, oh, the cube represents the entrapments of the
No,
upper
but like
class.
the
while-
class is like, guys, what is the cube about in your opinion?
in
And then
my
the teacher
opinion, the
says-
cube,
Probably reality and existentialism.
it's
Beck,
like
is
the
that what-
opposite of Evangelion because everybody
I
makes
was
fun
really
of him
thinking
instead
like
of going.
this sounds like those last episodes
The
of
like second to,
Evangelion.
like last episodes of Evangelion because basically like they go in and they're like making fun of him instead of being like, "Good job."
Yeah, and then he just kills them.
Probably because he didn't make it out of there. If he made it out of there, then they all would have surrounded him on like a small sphere and said, "Good
Well,
job."
who knows if they took the way out
You
of there?
did
Who
it.
knows?
Yeah.
I
Beck,
mean,
this is
but
kinda
there is no,
I
like-
assume Nikola stood up and did a standing ovation when
I think-
Shinji started choking Asuka.
Honestly, I'm gonna say if he had accepted that maybe it's not a cube, maybe he would have gotten out. Just saying, you got to think outside the cube.
But Beck, this kind of sounds like I'm thinking of ending things like kind of like a existential kind of like
Yeah.
horror thing.
Although,
I wonder if there's gonna be like a line that's gonna click for Aiden. It's gonna it'll make sense.
I need to
now.
talk about this. Uri, you called the title of or not our most recent one, but the one before that. This movie is a masterpiece, and then it's me standing in front of a poster of Argyle. Uri, I think you miss it. Kind of makes it sound like I'm saying Argyle is a masterpiece.
I think because it
I
is.
like how you're blaming him when it was entirely me.
Oh, you made it! Oh,
Yeah, he makes the thumbnails. He always makes the thumbnails.
I asked him. I said, "Hey, what movie is this from? Why did he say this quote?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, because of this one." And I said, "Okay, like that's gonna matter."
Beck's a big Argyle
Right.
fan, but
He is. It was his favorite movie of this
But
year.
so have you guys been watching any movies or anything like that?
me.
I
we're
have
not there.
watched one thing. So maybe I
Guys,
should
what
talk.
if there was some kind of grand tour across Colombia?
No, I finished. Actually, did I talk about finishing that?
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
you did.
okay,
yeah.
Okay. Well, you'll never believe this, but we have talked about this very episode. What was Uri speculated to wish about? A certain another
Killing
season of a show.
Oh,
I watched.
He watched Ted.
I watched the only thing I've ever watched this entire week. Season 1.
One of my favorite shows of 2023. The Bear.
Argyle. The Bear. Yeah. Yes, I watched The Bear. My favorite part of The Bear was probably the part where they were like went to an adoption center and adopted a bear.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, so
this is the show.
This is the bear."
But guys,
and then they killed the bear and cooked them. And then they killed the bear and cooked it and then ate it.
But no, realistically, Nikola, do you see why I like this show so much? It's a very well done.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
From what I saw, it felt like an Uri show, you know?
Yeah.
As in like an actual good show.
As in like a Succession, a Barry, just those kind of dramas.
Wow, good shows, Beck.
Critically acclaimed.
And I'm just saying, like that. Those are the type of shows and movies you really like.
But no, Nikola, what did you think about like the episode where it was all one take and it was like right before the final episode?
Oh, I didn't notice that. I noticed that like one time they had a whip pan. I'm like, oh, is this one? I remember, and I was like, I remember that was like talking about how like one episode was all in one take. I'm like, maybe this is the episode that's all in one take because that whip pan.
Yeah.
But I never really noticed it. I don't know. It just kind of flowed. It was fine. I don't know. I was just watching it kind of just to watch it.
Yeah,
it's good. I mean, there was one point long ago where I wanted to be a chef, and then I realized, wait a minute, those people make no money. And also, I don't really like cooking as much as I thought I did.
I can do you one better. I wanted to be a sushi chef. Because, you know, that's just like, you know, you like cut the fish.
Honestly, it was mostly like
rice.
Also because like, I wanted to be a chef. Like, I liked cooking. But because I had said I like cooking, my entire family kind of pressured me to like not even like, I didn't even say I liked cooking. I just like cooked occasionally. And then my entire family pressured me into like cooking all the time. And then I'm like, okay, well now cooking is like, now I don't like cooking because it's a chore. It's being forced to happen. It's like kind of the same thing. Like I never had any hobbies because like all the hobbies I wanted to do were like forced upon me, which meant they weren't really my hobbies that I were interested in. And then my parents would be surprised when, oh, turns out I don't like them because it wasn't my idea to do them.
Okay, Nikola, this isn't fucking therapy. Get out.
Wow. You know,
okay.
We found out
is very hard. You have to actually
like,
know to cook and stuff.
I think
I watched like 8 seasons of Hell's Kitchen, and then I'm like, you know, seems very hard.
This guy sounds like Gordon Ramsay.
No, but if you watch the Bear Beck, I'm just gonna get scared from cooking because the guy yells so much. He's like, "Why are you fucking with me? Why are you fucking with me?" But
that's completely valid.
Yeah.
The
thing that worries me is like they like one of them's gonna like chop their fingers off.
They make you feel like that because you know, and they don't even have hand.
The biggest part was when somebody got stabbed. That's like the only one.
Yeah.
What? Well, that's because that guy just walked it off.
Yeah, but it was by accident.
I mean, once I get a Hulu subscription for My Hero Academia season 7, you know.
And I was watching it Hulu with ads, by the way, because I don't do that.
Yeah, I also watch Hulu with ads.
Yeah.
I feel like I like Peacock, because what Peacock does is for movies, it just puts 2 minutes of ads at the beginning, and then there's no ads for the rest of the movie.
You like Peacock now?
I'm saying that's the one good thing they do.
Yo, that's kind of gay. Peacock.
Guys, we should make like the Celsius Pod streaming service. It's like takes the best parts of every streaming service.
It just takes all our podcast episodes.
By Celsius energy drink first.
It's the only thing you can watch.
Yeah,
our podcast.
Yeah, no. What we should do is we can get so many people if we make it episodes only on the Celsius podcast streaming service. Then all our fans will just decide to buy our streaming service. You know?
Yeah. Hey,
people want to watch our episodes so badly.
We're gonna call it the super. The
Celsius
super
Pod, the streaming service.
No, I had a good name for it.
You thought
the
about
super
this?
epic. The super epic extra Celsius pod streaming service.
I think you need 4 more adjectives.
We're gonna call it Sexy Peas. That's what we're gonna call it.
Aiden.
That's for short.
I think
what's up?
You would be really good. This is intrusive thought, but I think you would be really good with a man bun. And I think you can sell me lessons on your yoga retreat and tell me about
him sell hemp oil and get arrested by the U.S. government
how
for
you
selling
found
marijuana.
Nirvana. Tell me how you found Nirvana in India. Like, there's this thing called Nirvana.
Okay, here's how I did it.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? You know, it'd be really cool if it's something smelled like Teen Spirit, and that's how I found Nirvana. I just looked that up.
That's crazy.
Okay. But here's an alternative one. What if, I don't know, hear me out. A certain person walked up to you and he said, I am the painter, also known as Adolf Hitler.
Guys, this is the rule of sevens now.
No, it's the rule of me repeating it every single
time. For how many times Nikola has said Adolf Hitler.
That's not how. Why would they get age restricted?
He never says Hitler. He always says the painter.
No, and then he says, no, he has said.
He said like every single time. No, you don't understand. The joke is that I'm going to say it as many times as possible in this one episode.
Yeah,
we can make a clip which is just a compilation of me saying.
It's like, guys, it's funny the first time, then it goes bad, but then every time he says it more,
it gets worse and worse. But then when you least expect it, it comes back and funnier than ever, and then you never want to hear it again.
That's what they call Beck's sex life. It comes back. It's funnier than ever.
This is actually a metaphor for a movie me and Beck watch.
Okay, guys, let's give the full context.
It's a metaphor for the cube.
No. Aiden, I'm going to tell this story. Okay,
of course.
So, me and Aiden are like, we want to see Madam Web. It's called The New Morbius. So we're like,
of course.
I said, Aiden, you can see us on Tuesdays because Tuesdays tickets are half price. And since it's half price, we're like, what if we see them in D-box seats? And D-box are the ones that you like shake with the action of the movie. Turns out Aiden is like, psych, I got a doctor's orthodontist appointment. So he's like,
that they said I put it on the 22nd, but it said for the 20th. I don't know how that happened.
So he's like, what if you come with me to the orthodontist and then we just go. The orthodontist is at 2:30, and that one is out, and that's when the original showing was supposed to be. So I'm like, okay, it's 2:30. Maybe if it takes him an hour and a half to do this orthodontist appointment, we can catch the 4:20 showing of Madam Web. So I show up there. Yeah.
Were you like the little, you know how your parent kind of like sits next to you while the dentist is doing the stuff, or you're just like waiting?
I was in the waiting room watching Adventure Time. And I'm like, okay, I downloaded like the rest of season 4. Maybe I can finish it. I got through one episode before Aiden's like, you know what? I'm done. Orthodontist done. 2:40.
Now I mean, it's the orthodontist. All they do is look at your teeth and say, okay, they're straight, and send you out.
Okay, no. But also, I was like, okay, but there's this 3 p.m. showing of Madam Web, but that one doesn't have the D-box seats. So we do
we needed the D-box.
We do the 4:20 showing. And a normal ticket to this.
What do you do in the meantime?
A normal ticket to this quality costs $30 a person. Since we did on a discount day, we had 15. But no, these were like the most expensive seats you could buy. So we were getting this in the peak Madam Web experience. But we had to wait like an hour and 40 minutes. So that's
a long time.
We started walking around, and right across from the movie theater is like the San Mateo Natural History Museum.
It's also the city hall.
It's also the city hall and the courthouse. So we're going to tell a couple of like cool things we saw. So there was like this bar.
What is going on?
And then after that, it was Aiden was like, what if we post the link to the Celsius Podcast YouTube channel on this random wall? Damn. So that was weird.
It's true.
And
that's why we got our 166 subscriber.
You know, and then this one is Aiden trying to surf. He like failed instantly. It was very funny.
It didn't work for you either.
And then they had an NES controller.
They also had a PS3.
And then they had
A courtroom.
She said objection like an ace attorney.
Solve the crime.
Well,
I'm solved.
Okay.
Do I have the picture of the PS3? Hold on.
Wow, this sounds like
Here's
a
the
great
PS3.
They just had a PS3 there. We tried to turn this
Here was
big
us-
wheel.
Yep, the big wheel.
Wow.
Here,
You guys sound awesome. Right
Here's
before,
this one.
Y'all
We're
are kinda
saluting this
losers, I'm not gonna lie.
Nikola, look at the rowboat. Do you see
that's
that?
the one that's really like run by slaves.
no, honestly, this sounds like the
You
perfect day.
support slavery?
Wow.
How could you say you support
Natural
slavery?
history, and then Madam Web.
Guys, hold on. But we had a world-changing idea.
Okay, but like,
Yeah.
guys, look, I'd
What
make a
if there
great
was this
judge.
guy?
Okay, but what if we subscribe to the Celsius podcast as something that changes the
Okay,
world?
okay.
Okay, but
Whatever, I
you
don't
know, after all that happened, we've hit 4 p.m. We're gonna go into a showing of Madam Web,
Madame Web.
and we buy the tickets, and there's only like 2 other people in the theater. So we're able to take this iconic photo of a completely empty showing of Madam Web, and then there's Aiden sitting in D-box seats.
Amazing,
Now,
guys, amazing.
Let's get into the actual movie. Now keep in mind.
Also,
sorry.
Also, by the way, like a bunch of children showed up.
Oh, really?
And sat in the back. A bunch of children showed up, and there were other families that showed up. I think there were at least 20 people in that theater.
Yeah.
When it started.
Yeah.
So,
But
but also
Beck, wait,
what happened
Beck,
is.
can I say something new?
Yeah.
Can I say something
Yeah,
new?
Beck, what?
I lied. I actually did do something on my birthday. I also saw Madam Web.
No! No! Oh no! We
The Marvels.
Oh no! If only I could have predicted this with my future vision.
For Madam Web?
Guys, I spent my birthday watching Madam Web.
By yourself?
I watched it by myself.
No!
Okay, I have to tell-
Really quick question. Was Madam Web able to see a future where a person comes out and says, I am the painter, I am Adolf Hitler, and then it cuts to black? Was that the post-credit scene?
No.
There is a post-credit scene.
I have to
Oh,
tell
maybe
you.
you missed it then. I think it did happen. I think you just missed that post-credit scene.
I have to tell you how God really did not want me to see this fucking movie, mood. Okay, I
love to hear it.
I get an Uber to get to like a far, because it wasn't at my local theater. I get to like a far away.
Madam Web at your local theater, you have to burn it down, Ari.
And so,
Of course.
I went to like a theater, and like the Uber was late. And but I finally get there. It's at 1:30. I managed to get there like 1:25 or something, and I'm like, I want to watch this freaking movie because I know it's gonna be a really good content.
Of course.
And so I get in. I'm in the theater. There's like 20 minutes of ads, and guess what, guys? The fucking fire alarm goes off, guys. But so the fucking fire alarm goes off. I leave the theater for like 20 minutes. I'm just waiting. I get some fucking slime. And then I finally get back to the theater 1 hour later, since it was supposed to the movie start 2:30. The movie is. I'm finally fucking watching this movie. Maybe like there's a.
Is there anyone else in the theater?
There's like 3 boys like a little behind me, and I'm just sitting in my seat, eating my fucking, drinking my cherry icy and my lifesavers. And
does your theater have paper straws or plastic straws?
Plastic.
Oh, thank God,
good.
bro.
You're actually lucky.
Bro,
I just bring my own plastic straws that I steal from Costco.
During or during Barbie, I had an icy, and then my straw completely disintegrated. So I ripped like a corner off of my popcorn bucket and used that as like a makeshift spoon to try to eat some of the icy. They need to figure out a better solution for straws.
But paper straw.
And so I finally fucking watched this movie, and I guess fucking talk about this movie.
Right.
Was it like,
so
okay, I
liked
have
it.
one question. I know the -10 to 10 scale Where would you put it?
-9 for sure.
Yeah,
-9.
-8 was what I was thinking.
Then I know what to expect from it.
So, guys, officially, what? Because Aiden told us about what happens in the movies, like the list of things. So, what was
one thing I want to say quickly is it wasn't just D-Box. We had this in what is called XD. It has like 3 trillion colors, so you can really see the Pepsi sign. You know.
Please tell me you didn't like.
Anyway,
you got that for like cheaper at least. Like that was
$15
you didn't pay
a
extra
person.
for
Anyway,
that.
the list of things of where it's like one of these things isn't real. They were all real.
List them up.
real?
Yeah. So where did I put it? I put it
And
in.
it was in topic ideas, and just describe
Yeah,
exactly how each of them happened.
Yeah.
Of course, I can do that. Easy. Okay, so number 1. Madam Web is born in a cave in Peru with the help of magic spider people. That happens at the beginning of the movie.
Beginning of the movie, and then you have evil Spider-Man there, shoots everyone, and steals the spider that gives people spider powers.
It's true. The 3 Spider-Women never get powers and are seen only in costumes during dream
was
sequences.
crazy to me. Like the end of the movie, they don't even have their powers. They're just like, guys, we bought chicken, and then Madam Web's like, you know what? In the future, we're gonna do cool stuff, but we're not doing that in this movie.
But right now, you're just children.
Yeah.
The next one.
The thing is, you know what that felt like? It kind of felt like it was meant to be a prequel or lead to a TV show, something like that, where it's like we knew that they're gonna become people, and we were teasing it.
Yeah, because it felt like the movie I wanted to watch was the movie that they were leading up to. That's the thing that I wanted to watch, not this bullshit prequel thing.
Yeah. And also, Madam Web's personality takes a whole 180 the moment she's in the wheelchair.
Which one is Madam Web again?
She's Dakota Johnson.
Dakota Johnson.
Dakota Johnson, okay.
She's only in in one scene. One scene.
Oh.
Yeah. And what's crazy to me...
That's how you know it's a good superhero movie.
What's crazy to me is that they made... Because, like, Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney, they're, like, pretty good actresses, but the writing made them seem like terrible
I know.
actors.
They were good actors. They were just given a terrible script.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel bad for them because
like
they thought they
Sydney
were
Sweeney, you can see great roles when she played, I don't know, one of the like I actually never watched Euphoria, but I know she plays somebody in Euphoria.
She's
like
good in
really
Euphoria.
good character.
Who's like a really good character. Euphoria soon.
And I know she's in a bunch of other stuff. She's a really good actor.
She's in Anyone But You.
Yeah, and I saw a trailer for like her
I don't know anything. She's in Madam Web.
Before Madam Web, I saw her for like a Immaculate, which is like a nun horror movie. I think she's gonna be in. But you know what is also something really weird about this movie? The fucking
Immaculate.
ADR for like the spider.
The dubbing, bro, that was so obvious.
It was so weird.
It was almost like the villain. I swear they re-recorded every single one of his lines. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And
it was
that
so
fucking
bad.
scene where they're in the diner and it's like, you know, I'm talking with him and he's giving me all this exposition stuff again.
No. Back. Listen, that's actually really smart. So let's explain it to the audience.
Yeah.
At some point in the movie, we should just explain the plot of the movie. We'll come back to that.
Plot by plot.
Okay, so basically, her mom dies in Peru researching spiders when she died, and you know what? That's bad news. And then she somehow ends up back in New York somehow, and she's an ambulance lady, and she's driving the ambulance, and someone's dying, and guess what? Ben Parker is there.
Guys, they say you don't want to get shot in the Bronx. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's like a reference to how he dies.
Yeah.
Hey.
So then they drive to the hospital, and but there's this girl on a skateboard, and she flips Madam Web off, and then she drives to the hospital, and then this girl, she comes up, and she gets, or not a girl, this child gives the paper of a drawing of his family because he saved their mom, and then there's the stepdaughter who's not allowed into the room. Then she goes home, and then there's this other girl, and her father's not home. And then she's like, wow, what a day. Isn't that right, cat? She looks at the cat.
Yeah.
And then it's the next day, and things are bad are happening. And this car is flipped over on a bridge, and then she gets in the car, and she falls off the bridge, and she drowns, and she dies.
And then
this is so sad.
You know, we have a lot of future. We see like her floating in this void, and there's some kind of S. some
And
kind
some
of like
explosive-
glowing S, maybe some kind of sign.
web.
A sign. I thought it was gonna be like
Spider
super,
sign.
like spider, like
No,
Madam
it was the
Sweb.
Pepsi sign.
Oh,
The Pepsi sign.
I was really
Later.
hoping it was gonna be okay. I heard that one of the lines in the movie, an actual line in the movie, is that was something like "You are the madam of this web. You are Madam Web." Was that an actual
That's
line?
not a line.
That's not.
Oh,
That
I
is
think that
not
would have been a
continue.
great line.
There's
We'll continue with
a
the plot.
worse line. Like, look
Really?
at
There's a
that.
way worse.
What was that? What was?
So
okay,
bad
let's
it
get to
didn't
it.
walk
We'll get
out
to
of the theater.
It's true. I did leave.
But continue with the plot.
Okay. So then she drowns, but then she gets superpowers, so she can see the future and
No.
shenanigans.
I'm gonna give this movie credit. I really like how they explain her powers, where she just has really good spider sense. That's her power.
That's all. Yeah, that's true.
It's like she doesn't have any other Spider-Man abilities. She just got really good spider sense.
So it's like
Oh,
a
okay,
heavenly
yeah, that's another power.
restriction.
Is that a JJK
Sure.
thing?
Yes.
It sounds like a JJK thing.
I mean, that heavenly restriction is basically like when they were born, they basically like everybody else, like if they're a sorcerer, they have cursed, like everybody has cursed energy, but like normal people can't hold on to it, but sorcerers can. But some people are born with literally zero cursed energy, except they are literally just like superhuman. They can like be super fast and shit.
Mm.
So it's basically like min-maxing. Like you lose everything else, but you get one super good thing.
That's cool.
But
So
Aiden?
what happens? She gets her powers, and things happen, and now she has her powers.
Yeah,
And then she gets on the bus or the train,
Subway.
and guess what? The main villain. Oh, here's the main
Who
villain.
is the main villain?
I don't know
He's
one
this
thing about this guy.
guy.
He's rich. He has a penthouse. He has a spider. And he has no
And he's like-
personality.
He killed her mom. He killed her mom.
I don't. What is this
Killed her
dude's
mom?
motivation?
And Amazon when she died.
His motivation
Oh,
is power.
no. His motivation is that he doesn't want to die.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
His whole
power.
thing, like, I used to be
No,
not
he doesn't
powerful.
want
I'm never gonna not be powerful again. You know.
Yeah,
kind of like-
All of the stuff he built up that we never get to see.
I
in the
feel
movie.
like
So
they cut
essentially-
like every single scene they could with him in it.
So essentially, the main guy, he was like the main villain. He was like he worked with her mom, and then when she found like the special spider, he killed her to have it. And then ever since then, I guess he's had like dreams of the three main girls,
Webs.
except for Madam Web, and like they're gonna kill him. And he's like, I have to find this, and he keeps
and they're suited up with powers in these.
Yeah,
scenes.
it's like a
because he's a
dream
dream
scene.
sequence.
I swear
And
I
so-
thought that one was the fake one. It makes no
Yeah,
sense.
I did.
And so essentially what the movie boils down to is that Dakota Johnson is protecting the three girls, Sydney Sweeney's character and the other two girls, and then they're all kind of bonding because like all their parents kind of are sucky, and Dakota Johnson's learning is like kind of like she's taking care of like the kids to protect them from this evil Spider-Man whose whole motivation, he just wants to kill him, so they basically don't kill him.
Yeah.
And she's
They
learning.
can't because they don't have powers, and he can climb on walls.
Yeah. And so that's like the movie. It's like
Okay, but let's talk
attacks them.
about some of the funny specifics now because we have
Wait,
to go over
sorry,
that.
I completely missed that. How did he lose? Was he?
Oh, we're not there.
No,
Oh,
we'll
I
go
thought
over
you
the
were about to
scene.
be
I
on
think the funny
was
the funny
confused.
scenes are the ones that are in the list, so we can talk about those.
Yeah, but
That's true.
I'll just quickly say how it kind of wraps up.
Yeah.
So then she figures out how to master her powers. She goes back to Peru, and
Of course.
and a very, very funny scene, and
Where she's like, my mom didn't love me because she went to
Peru while she was pregnant, and that's a no.
You didn't. Yeah, it's like,
and
yeah, you can't do that
and
because that means
then-
you don't love.
And while she does that, she leaves them
Yeah.
with Ben Parker and like his sister. And guys, she's pregnant with Peter, but
No,
they don't name him.
no. We never hear his name. We never hear his name.
Yeah, we never
It
hear
could
his
be
name, but
his obscure brother, Beater. You know.
Peter.
Maybe it was a miscarriage. Oh wait, no, that's
Guys,
not how it
actually,
works.
it was actually it was this
Post-birth
guy
abortion.
called the Painter, and then he comes out.
Yes, yes.
This episode's gonna be
Plot
called
twist.
The Painter.
That's why they gave birth to Peter Parker, because Peter Parker is like so good. It had to be the universe has to balance it out by making them give birth to an Austrian painter named Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
No.
And then anyway, so then she's like her water breaks, and then they're driving to the hospital.
What
but then,
purpose does this serve in the movie? How does it contribute to the movie?
No, because
to get
that
the girls out and out of the house.
Yeah.
It's the girls in the
like,
water.
because the entire movie is all like he has an assistant. It's like you have the best technology in the whole world, and you don't find work.
You can't find 3 teenage girls.
You can't find 3 teenage girls who we gave the costume designer. This costume designer was like a 40-year-old, and he said, "What do teenage girls wear?" And he watched My Hero Academia and said,
nothing.
Highs and
Nothing.
a skirt. Okay, a crop top. Okay, both of them can have a crop.
Skateboard.
Jeans.
And so like
I
finally,
really want to watch this movie. If it comes out to like Disney Plus, I'm 100% watching it.
Dude, the costume design in this movie's terrible.
Yeah.
It sounds okay. I can see why this is a negative 9.
then-
Like, I don't know how you fail on that also.
and so essentially Dakota Johnson's character, she finally manages to she gets like Ben and his sister away to the hospital, and then it's like a big kind of final fight between the 3 girls, Madam Web, and evil Spider-Man, and then she finally masters her powers by splitting herself
villain
into...
name for him.
Probably.
She like the credits or something. Where he's
In
like
the
called...
end of you could say that at the end of the film, she inexplicably splits into 3 ghost-like copies of herself.
So in the final battle, she's like trapped on the Pepsi sign, and the 3 girls, they're like all close to falling. So Madam Web goes like, and then 3 shadow clones of herself.
Wait. Theory moment. This is probably not theory. I'm assuming it's honestly no. Actually, looking at the movie, I doubt it would even be answered.
What?
The 3 versions, it's the past, present, and future. That's how she was able to split apart.
No.
She can just do that.
But then what was really cool is the villain is actually kind of smart and just immediately punches her, and she loses all her shadow clones.
Okay. After a little bit, he gives her a
He
second
gives her like 10
to help all the
seconds to do this.
And then he kicks her.
And then
a Pepsi sign falls on him.
And then a Pepsi sign follows him, and then...
Oh, wait, no, sorry. She falls in the water, gets hit in the eye by a firework, and then becomes crippled and blind.
Yeah.
Can't forget about it.
And then she's all in the hospital, and she says I have everything I need right here.
And then the doctor comes in and says, Are you all immediate family members? And she says, yes, they're mine. As one does.
And they said,
I take children.
I hear a song coming on. Madam Web, hit it. And then she splits into 3 shadow clones, and then they start jigging, and they're all dancing around. Exactly.
And then the last
but I'm telling you, the reason they didn't say it in the movie, but the writers, what they meant is the 3 versions of her is the past version of her, the present version of her, and the future version of her. And therefore, the 3 of them work together to defeat the bad guy, but it doesn't work.
The other two of the girls
parts
are
that
not
we didn't
white.
talk about yet, so we gotta go over those.
Like the editing's really bad when she looks at the future.
But also, let me tell you something. The D-Box stuff, it was very fun for all these scenes.
It's actually really good.
It's like shaken, and then the editing is so confusing. You're so lost.
The camera's turning upside down and shaking and moving, and the seats are doing thing. It's really awesome. That was a great movie to do it with.
Yeah, no, I like to start doing
okay, but do you
for a
think
lot
Argyle would have been good with it?
Maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
But okay, I want to talk about. First.
Honestly, the way they should do it, they should do 5D experience where during the crude oil scene, they just dump crude oil on you.
Okay, so let me tell you about this timeline of events. Madam Web, she walks into a diner, the 3 girls are dancing, and then she's like, guys, we need to go, evil Spider-Man is coming. Evil Spider-Man kills all of them. She gets teleported back, and then she's like, what do I do? It was a mind future. She's like, what do I do? She gets in her taxi cab. We see her driving on the road. Aiden turns over to me and is like, he's about to hit him with the car. We cut to Spider-Man jammed into the countertop of the diner by the taxi cab, and then they escape. But
he gets hit by a car.
It's
okay.
It's not
okay.
over. The scene goes.
But
the girls are on the way to the hospital, but Spider-Man is chasing them. What does Madam Web do?
Has a bomb.
She drives her ambulance. But guys,
and she drives it into a parking garage, through a brick wall, through a billboard, and hits him midair.
And then I will tell you, I started clapping in the middle of the theater.
We started clapping and cheering.
The other people are so confused.
Actually, the worst fucking movie guests ever.
Remember how we started with like 20 people?
Yeah.
People were walking out and leaving.
Yeah, I would assume so. If these people aren't,
I'm pretty sure that they didn't pay for their tickets and just kind of came in to hang out.
And then they saw that it was bad, and then they're like,
yeah.
Okay, you told me there was a line worse than the one I made up, so I want to see what that line was.
It's when she's in Peru and the.
Okay, can I tell her?
She says the mom's a bad parent because.
So she's in Peru. She's just seen her past. She wakes up, and the guy is standing there, and he's like, "Madam Webb, you have just seen your past. Stall. And then
so there was
I will say, then he says the famous iconic line, with great Spider-Man. Power, there must come great responsibility. And I started fucking dying in my seat.
Aiden
walks out of the theater. He
had to take a breather.
He walks out of the theater, and I'm like, I'm dying for the next like 30 seconds on this seat because of how stupid that line was.
Bro had to take a breather.
I went to the bathroom.
Okay, but in the moment I didn't know that. I thought, Aiden, this movie was that line killed Aiden.
Isn't it insane how they fumble that line so hard? How do you fuck up? Because guys, do you remember like the Amazing Spider-Man one?
Right.
They also
sorry, wait.
Sorry,
I
just
said the wrong
reminded me of
line.
something.
I said the wrong line.
That's from the sorry, but before that just reminded me of something. Did you know that this was like announced recently on Twitter? The voice actor for the animated Spider-Man, I think it's Spectacular Spider-Man, isn't that what it's called? Yeah. Has confirmed that he is on the cast of Invincible for an upcoming season. And and I don't know if you guys have read the comics before. This tiny spoiler: there is a crossover between Spider-Man and Invincible.
Okay. Guys, I made a big mistake. I'm sorry about this. I said the wrong line. He actually says, when you take on the responsibility, great power will come. It's even stupider.
Yeah.
Okay. That kind of reminds me of something that happened in Avatar, but I can't talk about that. We're going to talk about that in the mini special. But can I just say it? It's like... How did they mess up in the opening of the first episode? The fucking iconic line. They said millennia ago. It's not that hard.
Bro, yeah, no, they don't even do the iconic intro.
You just say long ago the four nations lived in harmony. You don't say a millennia ago.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. It's so minor and it would make it so much better.
There are so many minor mistakes that cascade into huge crucial flaws.
It's actually just
we'll talk about it in the special. We'll talk about it in the special.
We'll talk about it in the special. It's it grinds my gears.
Okay. I'm gonna tell my InFocus story now.
So, wait, no, I need to tell my favorite part. I need to talk about my favorite part of Madam.
Okay, yeah, sorry, you do that.
So there's this scene. She brings all the girls to a hotel room, and after hitting him with the car, and she leaves. She says, I don't want to deal with this anymore, and she leaves. And she goes to the diner. That's a sign of a
good hero.
She investigates the diner, and she sees him, the evil Spider-Man. He's there, and they have a discussion, and they start exposition dumping.
Oh, that's kind of goated though.
No.
Guess what? It didn't happen. It was in the future. The exposition dumped in the future and it doesn't happen.
Yeah, that means it's good.
Still knows it because you can see the future.
That's quite smart because now we, the audience, and our main characters now know that the main villain doesn't.
Ooh,
it was very smart on their end.
And
so you're saying this is the greatest film ever made?
You know, it's also something really weird that I think doesn't make a lot of sense in this movie. Like everything doesn't make sense, but he's like you always wanted to change your future right before like he dies, but I was changing your future the whole time. Like, okay, so his visions meant nothing. This villain,
his visions were wrong.
Yeah, his vision.
The only thing in the vision that was the same is that he falls to his death.
Yeah, and so it's like I feel like this movie feels like a shitty early 2000s movie.
No, because it takes place in the early 2000s. They're referencing that.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not shitty.
He figured it out
In the 2000s.
Okay.
No, it's like to be pseudo to the times, Uri. You know, it felt like, you know, like that Catwoman or like the Daredevil, like just random one-off spin-off movies of obscure characters.
And
Colt,
Daredevil's obscure.
Catwoman and Daredevil obscure characters. What?
I mean like sorry.
Yeah, I get what you mean though.
Yeah.
But
low budget.
The thing is, it's just like other than like Spider-Verse and those two movies, the entire like this pseudo Marvel Sony universe they got brewing it's nothing. It's like they're just trying to be like they're trying to be on like this cusp of trying to compete with Marvel when they know they won't match up to Marvel, and Marvel's not even that good, you know. And
I feel like honestly at this point it's less Sony. All the Spider-Man stuff is. I feel like Sony, everything like Marvel related is no longer about making something good, and it's all about just holding on to that IP.
Yeah.
Because this kind of goes on to the other thing you put in the topic ideas about how Sony reportedly rushing Spider-Man 4 into 2025 while still struggling to make a script.
Yeah.
Because that's like kind of desperate just to hold on to the IP as long as possible.
Yeah.
To the point where they kind of ruin it just for the sake of holding on to it.
Yeah, because Spider-Man is like their flagship IP. And they're like they wanna keep this baby as long as they can, so they do these like really shitty ass movies, and like it's just really unfortunate the state of like, because like the thing is, how did they got it was like was it 4 movies in this universe, Venom 1 and 2, Morbius, and Madam Web. They realized Spider-Man villains origin stories don't work without
aren't they also doing
Spider-Man?
Craven?
Yeah, they're doing a Craven.
They are,
which is bound to fail.
Where's the what is his name? El Macho.
But because like villain origin stories, I feel like they only work in like once or something. Like like Joker was good. That was good.
Yeah. But that's because
that was
Joker was less
Joker.
About an origin. Like, because it wasn't about the origin. It was it almost felt like it was a separate universe. Like it was almost not even related to Batman.
And it was good. Joker 2 has a budget of $200 million, which is the same as Dune Part 2, which is crazy to me.
But
okay, but which one's gonna be better? We'll find out when we watch.
Okay, but like think about like the amount of work it takes to make like a Dune movie.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the Dune film, the VFX in Dune versus Joker. Yeah.
But the thing about Jokers, at least you feel the Joker movie has a soul. Like the director wanted to make this like really, really like he wanted to make a movie. Like you feel that when you Madam Web, you just feel like it's corporate schlock with actors. Actually, Nikola Johnson doesn't give a fuck about this movie, guys. He does not.
I thought it was an MCU movie, right?
Sorry. Have you seen the advertisement from like the characters that were playing like Madam Web and those people? They did not know anything about the movie. They were straight reading a script on all the ads. And they were like talking, and it's kind of, I feel kind of bad for them. I think it's
because they probably changed the movie a ton in post.
Yeah. I feel kind of bad for them because they kind of seem like because I mean like they're all good actors, but it's like a horrible script.
Did you know this has the same director as the Bachelor Party episode of Succession?
I was gonna say that. Oh my god! So in Succession, like there's an episode where there's like a bachelor party, and the director of that episode is the director of Madam Web. Which is surprising because that's like a really good episode of the show.
I think it's a really good episode. I think it was just like I think everyone in the movie was like, you know what, we're gonna take the payday. It's a bad script, but it'll be fine.
I don't remember if it was like red carpet or whatever, but I think it was either the Uncle Ben actor or the
Adam Scott,
like Adam Scott was really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Or it was the main villain actor, but they're like, say 3 words about this movie, and he's like, screen, ticket, popcorn. He just had nothing to say.
Peter Ben Parker.
Yeah.
True.
But it's like Dakota Johnson. She hasn't even seen the fucking movie.
A lot of people don't watch the movies that they're in.
I understand that. Like, it's if
he said, I think I saw like a quote like.
Did you ever watch the Iceland film?
Iceland, I did. It was not good.
Dang.
But did it have Icelandic women?
No.
True. You do like Icelandic women.
And they cut a scene that night. I was elevated from extra to like a scene guy, and they cut that scene, and I'm like, fuck you.
Oh, boo.
But I don't know. I think it was really unfortunate.
You know what that film was missing?
Yeah.
I think it was missing somebody named the painter.
I reused
came in and said, "I am Adolf Hitler."
But
and then it cuts to black.
Beck, tell us about
InFocus.
Your InFocus story.
All right, I'm just gonna go over everything that I have, and then you guys can do everything else you have. So, first, InFocus story. Today was InFocus package pitching day, and I came in prepared. I have had the idea to do a review.
Did come in and say, "I'm the principal," and let me tell you,
he does say that. It's true.
No,
he did not.
And it cuts to black.
So I'm like, it's package pitching day. I walk in and it's like very short notice, so like no one has like anything prepared, and everyone's like sitting at their desk, and like we have a wheel, and then it lands on people. And they're like, I had the idea to do this and all that, and it lands on me. And I walk up to the front of the class, and no one else has done it the entire period. I stand and I'm like, guys, who here has heard?
What's up, party people?
Who here has heard of Avatar: The Last Airbender? And I'm like, less than 48 hours ago, the live-action adaptation of Season 1 has come out, and I binged all 7 hours of it yesterday. I have 9 pages of notes on the show prepared. All I'm asking for is a 20-minute segment on InFocus to talk about all of it. And our teacher is like, we can do 10 2-minute specials. And I'm like, oh.
Really?
Wow. In related news,
you mean 2 10-minute? Do you mean 2 10-minute specials or 10 2-minute? How does that work?
One for the intro, one for each of the 8 episodes, one for the conclusion.
In related news, guy who watches all of Avatar live action in one day.
So now all that happened is that the entire class knows that you're a loser.
No, literally, people were like, were the 9 pages double spaced? And I'm like, episode 1's already 500 words. And I'm like, that's more than my college essay. But eventually they were like, okay, make the 20-minute long cut, and then what we can do is we can pick out like the first episode in the intro, and then you can plug your YouTube channel to watch the 20-minute cut. So I
plan gonna plug Zelda's production.
He can post it here, but it's the Beck Lions.
I do it to the Beck Lions channel. But I do think I might do a 20-minute cut just because I have a ton to talk about.
Honestly, you could probably include part of the part where we rant to each other in the special episode. You could probably include some of the special episodes.
Literally all I gotta do is
probably treat the special episode as like an interview with me and do stuff, and that would work.
What I'm thinking of doing is like I have all the notes. I'm gonna turn it into kind of like a script format. And all I gotta do is like put random B-roll of the show over me just saying it, and it should be very easy.
Just use trailer footage, literally.
Yeah, trailer footage, or I can just screen record some of the clips I want to talk about.
I don't think are you allowed to? I mean, it's
I'm
InFocus
allowed
Movies,
to,
but
bro. I'm a journalist. Everything is legal
Okay.
for us. It's crazy.
Not exactly, but kind of.
Guys, Beck was on Epstein Island, for journalism
What
purposes.
the fuck?
It was legal. It was all legal.
What the fuck?
I mean, is he wrong?
Yes.
Am I wrong?
Yes, very wrong.
I have video proof. Maybe or may or may not be AI generated. May or may not be AI generated. I have video proof.
Guys, Beck is not a pedophile.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
don't know. He said he likes them young.
That's not true.
Beck said the younger the better.
Beatles movies. They're making fun
I
of
want
them.
to talk about this.
Yo, who the Beatles?
So I want to talk about this because essentially, so we're hearing that like they're gonna make 4 Beatles movies, like kind of like a Beatles cinematic universe from one guy.
4 biopic.
It's all going to come out in
universe.
2027. Around, I think they're going to come out like around the same time or something, and they're just going to follow one Beatles member. And like I don't know if there's going to be the exact. There's probably going to be a lot of similar, like the same story kind of, but it's probably going to follow different stories in their lives.
I think what they should do is they should have like before their life as the Beatles, each in like the biopics, and then you have like the Beatles, like the Avengers, where they all band together,
But here's the problem though, Beck, because a lot of the stuff that happens to them also happens like after. Like Paul and Ringo both have their own bands that they release music with.
What if they go like Oppenheimer style, where the first shot of John Lennon's movie is like he walks out of a hotel, gets shot in the head, dead.
It's almost like no. You know what would be better? Some random person. It's a completely different movie. Completely happy. Everybody's happy. Last scene of the movie, he's walking down the street. Across the street, Ringo gets shot in the fucking head.
Ringo's alive.
It's an alternate timeline.
Sorry, that's my bad. I mixed them up. It's one of the Beatles.
Ringo?
John. Yeah, Ringo
does
an alternate timeline.
John. Yeah, it's an alternate timeline.
Wait,
and then 9/11 is also happening in the background. It's an alternate timeline. It happened in New York, and
who's the fourth guy? The fourth guy I don't ever. George. I was thinking about George
Santos.
But
no, the only one that I would see is the Ringo one because Ringo is silly.
I'm probably gonna watch all of them for the content.
They're not gonna.
I'm also probably gonna watch
guys. They're not doing 4 different biopics about the Beatles.
They are.
Of course
they aren't.
But
I guarantee I guarantee they're die in development hell.
I could see that, but I think, well, this movie, it does sound kind of stupid. It is a very interesting idea, and I kind of like the idea of just doing something interesting with film because, like, kind of reminds you like there's a guy named Richard Linklater, and he does his films like. Because he did a movie called Boyhood, and he literally filmed that over 12 years. And he's doing a new movie. It's going to take over 20 years, and he's going to watch the actors age.
It'd be so sad if that movie flopped. You spend 20 years.
Wait, literally, Beck, I told you about this the other day. How when I was a
kid,
think that like if they filmed scenes where someone was a kid, they'd have to wait until they grew up before they continued.
Yeah, and there. Did you know that there's
one thing I do want to bring up about Avatar, which is
oh my god!
No, it's quick. It's related to this.
I want to know?
So
you have a special about this
known as Sozin's Comet, and this was basically a deadline for the entire show, where he needs to master all the elements within a year. They have completely removed that from the live action. So that they can time it.
Sorry.
Shut up, Nikola. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Shut up. I know what you're talking about. It doesn't count. So, and they removed that because they were like, guys, what if the actors they age? We can't have this very crucial plot beat where Aang can't just camp and learn the elements. No. We can't have the timetables. Sorry. So yeah.
Beck, did you watch the M. Night Shyamalan live action?
I got 7 minutes into it, and I'm like, why would I subject myself to this? And then I watched Game of Thrones instead. Game of Thrones! Smooth transition, baby.
Oh, what
terrible transition.
Okay, but are you going to let me mention the thing that you knew I was talking about, or no?
No, because we're saving that for the special.
Guys, you have a whole special for this. Come on.
We said two
I
things.
could actually rant about this for hours.
Game of
Thrones.
A minute, that's
what we're gonna do.
Okay, Game of Thrones. So, I'm just gonna talk about. I watched the first 7 episodes, and I think this show is really good. You follow basically 4 main groups for the houses. Yep. You have the Starks, the Lannisters, the Targaryens, and you follow this guy called Jon Snow. And
Starks, but yeah, it's a Night's Watch, I guess.
Yeah, Night's Watch, something. I don't really consider them a house. But you see these 4 different groups, and the show kicks off with basically the hand to the king. This guy named Jon Arryn, he dies under mysterious circumstances. And so I'm going to spoil this. Aiden, are you good with that?
Yes.
Nikola, you good with that?
Yeah, I've watched.
Okay, cool. And so Jon Arryn, he dies. And then how
can you spoil that?
King Robert is like, I need a new hand of the king. So he asks
you know who that Ned hand Stark. Of the king is?
His old best buddy.
His old Stark. Best buddy, a certain Austrian painter named Adolf Hitler.
Okay. No. And so they go back to a place called King's Landing, basically the capital. And then the whole thing is basically this drama between like the throne and like uncovering how this guy died. And it's really good. There's a lot of cool drama there. But at the end of season 1, there's the second main plot line of the show where Ned Stark's son is pushed out the window by these brother and sister who's the queen and like the king's
and her brother.
Yeah.
And they were fucking, and that kid saw them.
Yeah, so they're like, we need to kill him, otherwise he's gonna reveal our secret.
And he's all like, the things I do for love, and then pushes the kid out.
So there's tension there with like who's for the throne, and there's a ton of tension because the Starks and the Lannisters are fighting because the Lannisters basically paralyzed one of the Stark children. And so that happens, and then on the episode I'm at, just shit goes completely wild. The king dies in a hunting accident, so now everyone is vulnerable. The throne is for the taking. And so the Starks and Lannisters are both trying to gain control of the throne when he dies. And at the end of episode 7, we find out.
Wait, this is Game of Thrones, right?
Game of Thrones. We find out. Okay, good. We find out Ned Stark has been betrayed, and then all the knights he thought he had betrayed him. So the Lannisters now have basically taken control of the throne. At the other time, it's the Targaryens, and they used to control the throne like 30 years ago, but then there was an uprising, and now they're gathering an army on the other side of the lake, and it's this woman, and she becomes more confident, and then she eventually kills her brother, and then now they're like, we're gonna attack the main
for
kingdom.
A king.
Yeah.
His death scene was really cool because they're like, fuck this guy, and then like.
I was surprised that they had all these deaths really close to each other. I thought they were going to spread them out a lot longer. Like, I don't know how this lasts for 8 seasons. Just from my POV.
They introduced a lot more characters and a lot of people split up. And, Beck, what do you know about the feud? Do you know any spoilers for the show?
I know for the first episode of the podcast, you were like, please Photoshop me onto this guy from Game of Thrones. And it was like a guy standing on like an executioner's brick. And then someone, he kills someone. The guy? I don't remember the guy.
Pause really quickly. I pulled up my stuff from my headphones because my audio was all fucked up.
I have theories based on how the plot line is going on who it is.
I clicked a single button and now you guys are all distorted for some reason. I don't know what the fuck did I.
Guys, no, you have to hear it.
The weed gum hit.
It's not. I'm not even. I don't know how do I show the sound. I don't know how to show the sound.
Photo.
But you guys are like actually distorted.
Maybe did your headphones get unplugged?
Oh shit! I didn't even know this. There's this thing called environmental effects. I can make it seem like I'm in a different environment. And for some reason, it turned it to a mode called Psychotic. That just distorts everything. What the fuck?
Wait, what did you do?
So for some reason, the drivers for this headphones just has a feature where if you click a button, it'll like simulate it as if you're in a different room. And for some reason, it turned it on and put me in a mode called Psychotic, which distorts everything.
And everyone go crazy at Nikola to pretend he's still in the thing.
No, I figured out how to turn it off, luckily. Thank God.
All right. On.
Well,
you want me to turn it back on? Let me turn it back on. Oh, fuck.
So,
Beck, do you know this term? Do you know this term, the Red Wedding?
I know the Red Wedding. I know Red Wedding. I know that term. Is that from Game of Thrones?
That is from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Very big event.
I know. I know like Red Wedding. I know because my cousin, when I 5 years ago, he was like, "Yeah, I have a YouTube channel." He got like 350k views on something called like the Battle of the Wall 1080p or something. It was a video like that, and that's how I first knew about Game of Thrones.
Wow.
But that just has more views than our entire channel. So, and then so. One thing is like I like the show because it has a lot of good comedy in it, mostly around Tyrion Lannister, who is my favorite character so far.
Oh wow, very unique opinion. Favorite character?
I like the likable guy. Okay, other guy, the sword guy that trains Arya is very funny. I don't know if that's also a very basic opinion.
Yeah, but Beck, some of my favorite characters are Jaime Lannister.
Mm-hmm.
The Hound, he's very cool.
Yeah.
And you'll see their character arcs. They go through pretty good ones.
Yeah.
And
And one thing is, I know Arya Stark was in Multiversus, so I know she gets a cape at one point. So
yeah.
Can't wait for that game to come back. Speaking of games coming back, Beck, can I have my copy of Splatoon 3? I want to play the DLC.
I was like, do I bike this over to Aiden's house this afternoon? And then I'm like, what if he's not home?
I was at school. I was at work.
Yeah. So just remind me, and then I'll drop it off.
Okay.
But Beck, is there anything else you want to say on Game of Thrones or anything else you want?
I'm really engaged in it, so I can't wait for. I'm gonna. Continue watching.
I wish I could like rewatch Game of Thrones and like kind of a new vibe because I really like House of the Dragon stuff.
One thing I want to mention is it feels weird because this show was described to me as like I always imagine the show as like kind of a fantasy show. It is not a fantasy show. It feels way more medieval. Like there's no fantasy concepts at all, except like, guys, there were dragons like 300 years ago, and there's these weird frost giant people that we never see. But like, there's no fantasy in it. It's just like medieval people fighting.
The thing about this goes back to why kind of George R. R. Martin created the series, because in the end of Lord of the Rings, they're all like, and Aragorn ruled peacefully for like 500 years.
Yeah,
and he's all like, okay, but like, what was their tax policy? How do you kind of idea? What's the idea? How do you rule peacefully for like a long time? And that's kind of like the birth of Game of Thrones, because
they do say Game of Thrones. They say the name of the show in the show, so I like it when they do that.
Yeah.
They say, what is this? Some type of Game of Thrones?
When you play the Game of Thrones, you lose to Austrian painters.
Yeah. There's so many good characters, Littlefinger and Varys.
Does he have little fingers?
But the thing about this show I really like is it has pretty good world building, I would say, because you very feel like this is a very much of a world.
Yeah. George R. R. Martin, it's taking him like 10 years to write the next book in the series.
Yeah, it's still not out. So yeah.
So that one, so up to season 6 is just based on the books that have been out.
Actually, the first book very similar first season, first book. Then they stray a few things there, a few things here, and then it kind of crumbles.
Yeah.
But first book,
it was bad because they ran out of adaptation stuff, right? And they started having to like free flow it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm excited to see what you'll think with the bigger events and ultimately the end of the show. Because I don't know, maybe I predict you'll probably get kind of mad, but we'll see.
People have described this as like terrible, like the worst season of a TV show ever made. So I'm going
That's
in
a lot.
with that perspective. So my expectations, I might not find it as bad as people have been describing, but I might,
Well, is there anything else you want to say, Beck?
I have two other things. First, the Borderlands trailer came out. It looked very bad. It was just like, guys, what if we do Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's Borderlands?
True.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
The Boys has an announcement date for season 4.
Yeah, that was on my list. I'm gonna talk about. I watched one episode of Adventure Time. So let me tell you about. Let me tell you about who would 9/11. Win. The farm won. Okay, but then he loses. And then Finn and Jake win because they had a used car salesman help them. Okay, next thing I watched. Do any of you guys know about a short film called 95 Senses?
No.
So, like I did last year, before the Oscars, want to have watched all of the nominated animated short films. And I started that last weekend with a short film called 95 Senses. And it starts with the guys like, my eyes, and like talking about all the stuff he sees. It's like talking about all that, and then it goes to like all the stuff he hears. Like, I heard the sawmill that my dad worked on, and then he would play the music too loud. And he talked about like, I got this job at a car repair shop. It was very loud. But then I got fired from that job. I really liked that job. So I took a lighter and then I burned that store down. But I didn't know there was a family living above the store. So he commits 5 murders. Then he's like, I love the taste of my last meal. And he's like, you know what? I got a Filet-O-Fish. I got lobster roll.
What would be your last meal, Beck? Asking for a friend?
Dr. Pepper.
That's it? Just a Dr. Pepper?
Just a Dr. Pepper.
That can be arranged.
That can be arranged. After Beck goes to prison for being on Jeffrey Epstein's island, yes.
Then he's like, and like talk. I forget about the other senses, but eventually he's like, when people die, they lose the senses in this order. But it said humans have 100 senses, but we only use 5. Maybe when we die, it activates all the other 95 senses.
Oh, wow.
So it's basically a short film about this guy.
Is it animated?
It's animated, yeah. And each of the different senses is animated in a different style. And like the animation of this is like very abstract and it's like really cool. So far, it's like my front runner for winning the Oscar, but I've also only seen one of them. So, but yeah, I think it's really good. It's about a guy, and it's like talking about his life while he's on death row, and I thought that was a cool concept, using like the different senses.
Whoa.
That is all I had.
Yeah, and Aiden, Nikola, anything you need to say?
Nah, all I talked about. I only watched The Bear.
Wile E. Coyote hanging on by this much.
I mean,
I didn't even hear they have a $115 million tax write-off.
Yep, but it's not released yet. What's
Wait,
on that list?
I'll say something
But there's
really
a
quick.
chance people have access to the movie and will leak it if they don't release it.
I
or
might have talked a tiny bit of. I watched like one episode of Formula Drive to Survive, but that's not important.
That's a cult. That's a cult. That's a cult.
All right. What do you have?
That's really it. Yeah, I haven't watched anything
I got a little
else.
story. I painted a mason jar earlier today, and I went to a karaoke thing, and like a guy went up and I need a cup. Can I use that cup? And I was like, okay. So he just took my cup, and now he has my cup.
He has your painted mason jar?
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
He's like, and then like I saw he put like a fucking, and the guy went up to me and was like, did you paint this? Did you paint it on the inside of this? Because it smells like paint. Yeah, it smells like paint because I just fucking painted it, dude.
Okay, but guys, funny story. So after Madam Web, me and Aiden went to Chick-fil-A. And then the cashier recognized his Adventure Time sweatshirt.
Oh, I thought you said, I recognize you. I subscribed to the Celsius pod. You're the
Yeah.
Beck Lyons in the Celsius podcast.
Yeah.
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 So,
but guys, watch out for Celsius Oscars 2, episode 120.
Bro, it's gonna be like another year. We're not teasing. We can tease variety show for 70.
Yeah. Variety show. So see ya. Always use Celsius.
Always use Celsius. Rack.
Someone give it a rack.
Game of Thrones.
Guys, you should play Frog Detective. I played that game this week. It was very funny.
Guys, I like frogs and I know a famous detective, so.
True. So you should play it.
Yeah.
Solve crimes.
But yeah, famous detective.
You should watch a movie with the greatest post-credit scene of all time. The Kingsman.
Always use Celsius, and remember, Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. Bye.
All right.
This flag did not hang itself. And it's a flag, it's just Jeffrey Epstein.